Hello YouTube. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of a sickness a little bit lately, but I plan on making a little more videos for my channel. And I think 2 weeks ago I uploaded a video that is the box of the week, and I just have a ton of boxes in my house, so I tried doing little reviews of how I think that boxes should be made. Like, the boxes of the week up here I think are pretty okay, but they kind of just are really good to use for many different situations. So now I'm at my dad's house, and I'm going to be doing some reviews on some of my electronics that I have. And today I'm going to be doing the PSVita, and I have to say, this is probably one of my favorite systems I've ever owned. Ever. Except for the cost, which this does have a couple hidden costs. But, yeah. So let's go on. This is I forgot how big the screen was, but it's an OLED screen, which is probably one of the best I've ever seen besides an Apple Retina display. Hi. And these joysticks, I think they're pretty good. They're very sensitive and actually have really good resistance, unlike the PS3 controllers. The buttons are kind of small, but I never can complain about it. And over here you have your D-pad, which is actually quite different from what Sony normally does. They have like the complete four-way D-pad instead of broken up into pieces, so that's easier to rock around on and whatnot. They have the left button and the right button. There's no R2 or R1. There's the camera, and there's the front camera. We'll get to those later. The power button, the game card slot, which I love, an accessory port, which is not being used. I don't think. Somebody should tell me. Your volume rockers, rear touch panel. I've heard a lot of people say screen, which is relatively irritating. Your charging port, your headphone port, and where is that thing? Oh yeah, and the proprietary SD slot right here. So these are $250. I got mine for $250 anyway. And these SD cards here, I got the very cheap one. My Vita's gonna trip out now. I think this is like $20, and this is 4 gigabytes. 4 gigabytes. I mean, really. Come on. Okay. So, I do think it's a really great system. It's really great. So, once you turn it on, it takes a little bit. I like this design here of how you unlock the screen just like peeling it away like that. Awesome. I do like the menu music. Sometimes it's pretty addicting. I don't know why. But like the menu music really uses the advantage of the two left and right speakers, which the two left and right speakers are placed so greatly right here that when you're playing like this, it's literally facing your ears, so it's like having headphones on, where you can actually get stereo. And I just think that is great. I mean, stuff that uses stereo on this always sounds great. So here's the menu, which you can't control with any of these. You have the PlayStation Store, Party, Welcome Park, Friends, Photos, Settings, blah 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 blah. We have Maps, Music, and one of my favorite games ever. You have Videos, Netflix, which actually looks very good on here, which I'll show a little bit later. This is going to be quite a long review, possibly 10 minutes, and a whole bunch of games. So let's get on. We'll start out with the Welcome Park. Now when you start an application, you're going to see this screen right here, which is like a pre-start screen, which is kind of cool for some, such as if you were to open the PS Store, you see what's new and out. Oops, taps that. You can see what is new and what is out and what is featured. So it's kind of convenient sometimes, but when you're trying to like start a game as quickly as possible and you just want to play a game, it does kind of get irritating, but I don't find it much of a big deal. Sorry, my camera is a little bit out of focus. It doesn't focus during the video, so that's unfortunate. But the screen is great, and it has one of the darkest blacks I've ever seen for a screen. So we're just gonna go right there. Why not? I do like how they did this welcome park thing. It makes it really great. So, anyways, while that's loading... Oh, never mind. So, I think the gameplay is pretty great. The touchscreen is really awesome for stuff like that. And as you see, it pauses it when you go to the PlayStation button. But, yeah. Remote play is probably one of the coolest features, but is used very little because I can't seem to get it to work on a PS3. What remote play is supposed to do, I mean, I can get it to work, but it doesn't work. So here is the cross controller, which I can't get to work. As you see, this is just like a PS3 controller, but the thing that doesn't allow it to work on most games is you can't click down these analog sticks, and there isn't an R2 and an L2 on this PlayStation Vita. So, yeah, that probably doesn't work for a whole bunch, but I'm pretty sure it would be a pretty good controller. Now, right here, remote play is when you take the screen of the PS3 and it comes onto here. So, let's just say you're using your PS3 and you could play a game with the cross controller. You could play it on your PSVita using the PS3. So somebody's watching TV at the same one that your PS3 is on, excuse me, you can play whatever is on your PS3 on this. So it's like having your PS3 on the Vita, but that is kind of what a PSP is for. That's irritating. So anyways, going on. You can customize each one, blah 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 blah. But I'm going to show one of the really good games that are featured on this is Uncharted Golden Abyss. I only got the demo version, unfortunately. Oh. But, yeah, shut up. We know this. Let's go. So yeah. I mean, it's very glossy, as you can see. Hello. So, come on, let's load. After this, we're going to do the cameras and whatnot. Well, the whole thing is made out of plastic, not glass, so it's creaks a little bit when you twist it, but it's not too bad. It's actually pretty well built. Chapters. I'm sorry, I'm not like a really good video maker, so if you made it this far, you're awesome. I really can't edit my videos, but as you see, the screen is amazing. Here, let me close my blinds really quick. Yeah, that is one problem with the screen, though, is that the screen is easily washed out by light. Like, this is when it looks best, and yeah, it's kind of horrible outside. You can't see anything. So, as you see, the graphics are awesome. They're very defined and great, and it's... What can I compare to what can do this? I think the PS3, that's the only other system that I can think of that can do this good of graphics. And the controls are really responsive. As you see, look, I can just see, look, they're so sensitive. See that? I'm just barely tapping it. But anyways, moving on. let's go to the cameras. So here's our pre-start screen. There's your camera. There's your photo album. Let's go over here. But as you're gonna see, this is gonna be extremely horrible. Well, I mean, it does look good for now until you actually take a picture. I mean, really, it is so horrible. So let's just switch the cameras. As you see, it looks pretty good right now. I mean, it looks much better on the Vita than it does with the camera, and then YouTube's going to make it look all horrible, but take it as it is now. I'm going to take a picture, say cheese. Okay, let's go to our albums, and as you see, look at that. That is like how much white is like across everything. It's horrible. And people are complaining about these cameras a lot because guess how much they are? 0.3 megapixels. 0.3, no, not 3.0, 0.3, 0.3. Horrible. And people are just amazed by it because Sony can do so much better. I mean, that camera is fitted into cell phones and they still look better. I mean, like 8 megapixel cameras are that small. And they can't put that into their new system? That's a fail. But anyways, still moving on. You have friends. I can actually relate this to... Dang it, I don't know where it is. But another system known as the 3DS, which is this system's main competitor that uses Party or Street Pass, yeah, near, that when somebody would walk by it would exchange information and stuff like that, but I don't think there's many people within my area at least that owns a PS3, I mean PSVita, god dang it, that will actually leave their Vita on and would walk with it in their pocket. So, unfortunately, that's pretty unlikely, and I don't think it's gonna be very useful. But it's nice to have the option, though. Now, I know a lot of people are asking, like, how powerful is it and whatnot. I think it's freaking like powerful as Jesus. And this thing can do so much things, but it's not used to its full potential, which Sony has done for so long. But, you know, it's still a good system. I even got this one used, and it's freaking awesome. This is one of the older models. This was bought in January last year, just after they came out in Japan. So this is pretty cool, I have to admit. So if I were to rate this from a 1 to 10 scale on how great this system was, I would have to rate it an 8. I would have to rate it an 8 because this is such a good system. It is so great and just awesome. And the only downsides are is that the speakers aren't very loud. The game cartridges are SD cards that are also proprietary. And the memory cards are freaking expensive. Oh, come on. I mean, the speakers get pretty loud, but it's the only system that I know of right now that has the speakers at the perfect width, to where it's not super gigantic in your hands, but to where you can actually hear in stereo without headphones. And I think that's probably one of the greatest things about this system. So that is my review. I rate this an 8 out of a 10 scale, and I'll see you later.